Somos Parquet Courts. Estás
Viendo.
Somos Parquet Courts. What was it? Was it viendo? Estás viendo. HBO. Hola, somos Parquet Courts. Estás viendo HBO Rocks. Was that it?
Well, the name Parquet Courts is I guess on the surface level, it's kind of a basketball reference. Parquet being the type of flooring used in certain basketball courts. It's like a geometric arrangement of panels. It's kind of a crisscross, checkered kind of thing, and it's what they use on a few basketball courts. And it's also been pretty fun to have as a band name because of it has a few different spelling variants that we've used. Like on the EP we have coming out in a few weeks, it's spelled Parquet like the margarine brand, and then quartz like the unit of measurement. So it's a fun name. I'm of the thinking that calling yourself a punk band doesn't mean having to adhere to any sort of rigid stylistic molds, be that stylistic in your sound or your appearance. Punk has always been, for me, and I think in its inception, an attitude that you take towards your art and that you take in life. So yes, I do consider ourselves a punk band, and I think that, on casual observance of a lot of our music, some people would be inclined to agree and some people wouldn't. I'm not here to, none of us are here to defend whether we are or are not. Ultimately, I don't want to just define us as any single thing, but usually when people ask, that's what I say. I think we're probably punk by virtue of attitude more than anything. think about music sales?
Oh, I mean, this is our job right now, but without romanticizing that too much, it's because we simply are so busy with the band that we're never in one place long enough to have any other job. Our expenses are fairly limited because we're touring so much that we're granted the opportunity to say that our band is what supports our lifestyle, but that's not to say or draw any kind of, it doesn't, suggest that we necessarily have like a glorious lifestyle.
We're not balling. I don't know any bands that I'm personally friends with or otherwise that are making their living off of record sales. I think that part of the music industry is changing, for better or for worse. People are always going to buy records, but the people that continue buying records rather than, buying from iTunes or some sort of digital distributor are people that are seeking out independent releases from smaller labels, and people that have always kind of needed that sort of tactile ritual of having the LP and opening it up and reading the lyrics, putting it on the turntable. It's less than a consumerist thing than it is a cultural thing, I think, for people that keep buying records. We sent the actual tapes out. We sent those mail order, or just delivered them. Nobody ordered them, but we delivered 500 cassettes to people who had originally ordered Light Up Gold from the label that I do called Dole Tools. It's really what it is it's kind of a way to make a collection of bands that we feel a solidarity with, that we feel like we are existing in kind of the same sort of cultural moment with. They're all current active bands, and it's kind of our way of defining where it is that we see ourselves within, the music scene, and also kind of a way of showing some love for bands that we care a lot about and have played with, or just feel a strong solidarity with. I have not listened to any of the voicemails. Have no idea what they say. Man.
Because they can call you and leave messages like in Spanish and Portuguese.
Yeah, they sure could. If I only had it, though.
We'll get you the number and you can flash it at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
We'll give you the number right here.
Just the whole time.
It starts with 917. Make sure to push the +1.
Oh, damn.
+1 for the country code.
That won't be so hard to do in post, right? That'd be great to have it just flashing the whole time. Yeah. Line it up with my hands.
Okay.
Bring him into the interview. Phone him in.
Use this HBO thing.
drugs are what make us creative. I think we all have a fun time taking certain drugs, and then there's certain things that we know well enough to stay away from.
When you're doing the right drugs with the right intentions, there's a potential to have some fun experiences, and I think everybody here has had some fun times doing drugs. It doesn't define us as a band. I don't think Parquet Courts is necessarily known for. I mean, just as individually speaking, I think that drug policies in the United States are way too severe, and as a result, we have a huge, corporate prison system that has the majority of its inhabitants there for non-violent crimes such as drug possession. Something that I'm not particularly proud of about America, and especially about New York City, having one of the highest marijuana arrest frequencies in any other city. I know that's kind of one of the darker sides of American life. Probably not near as dark as the sides of life in countries where we get our drugs from, which, if this is airing in HBO Latin America, it could be any of these countries. Because we do them, we can kind of speak against these draconian policies that our country has about them.
I like that. It feels good.
Yeah.